Every 4 years, the entire planet stops. Offices close early. Families crowd around TVs. Strangers cry in public. People who don't even watch football are suddenly glued to the screen at 2 a.m., screaming at a game they barely understand. And that game is the FIFA World Cup. It is the single most watched sporting event in human history. More than the Super Bowl, more than the Olympics, more than anything. But if you've never watched football before, the whole thing can feel completely confusing. Why does it only happen every 4 years? How do teams even get in? What are all these groups and brackets? What's offside? And why does everyone freak out about it? By the end of this video, you'll understand all of it. And I promise, it's way more fascinating than it looks. Let's start from the very beginning. Football, or soccer if you're American, is the most popular sport on Earth. Roughly 4 billion people follow it. That's more than half the world's population. To put that in perspective, the NFL has about 200 million fans. Football has 4,000 million. It's played in every single country on the planet, from Brazil to Iceland to Bhutan. And every 4 years, those countries compete against each other in one giant tournament to find out who is the best nation on Earth. That tournament is the FIFA World Cup. FIFA World Cup final drew 1.5 billion viewers in 2022. The Super Bowl, by comparison, draws around 100 million. The World Cup final gets 15 times that audience. Now you understand why this thing matters so much. So how does a country even get into the World Cup? This is where it gets interesting. There are currently 32 teams in the World Cup, and that's expanding to 48 starting in 2026. But here's the thing. There are 211 countries that are FIFA members. Way more than 32. So not everyone gets in automatically. Countries have to qualify. Think of qualifying like a long road to the tournament. Every country plays matches against its regional neighbors over a period of 2 to 3 years. These games happen across 6 global regions: Europe, South America, Africa, Asia, North and Central America, and Oceania. Only the best teams from each region earn a spot. Some regions are ruthless. South America only sends 4 or 5 teams from 10 countries. So giants like Argentina, Brazil, Colombia, and Uruguay are all fighting for the same handful of spots. The pressure is enormous, but the host nation, they automatically qualify. No road trip required. And here's the fascinating part. Qualifying is often harder than the tournament itself. Some of the best teams in the world have missed the World Cup entirely because they couldn't get through their regional qualifying stage. Italy, one of the most decorated nations in football history, failed to qualify for both 2018 and 2022. Imagine the Super Bowl champions not making the playoffs the following year. Twice in a row. That's what happened to Italy. So you've got 32 teams at the tournament. Now what? The first stage is called the group stage. Here's how it works. The 32 teams are split into 8 groups of 4. Each group plays what's basically a mini round robin. Every team plays against every other team in their group. Win a game, you get 3 points. Draw, both teams get 1. Lose, you get nothing. At the end of the group stage, the top 2 teams from each group advance. The bottom 2 go home. Simple enough, right? But this is where it gets psychologically brutal. Because your fate isn't just in your hands. If your rivals win their game while you lose yours, you're out, even if you played brilliantly. Every match in the group stage has 4 different teams watching nervously from hotel rooms. The drama doesn't just happen on the pitch. It happens in every corner of the world. Once the group stage ends, we hit the knockout stage. And this is where football gets almost unbearably tense. In the knockout stage, it's simple. Win or go home. 1 game, no second chances. The 16 surviving teams play a bracket, and the winners keep advancing. Round of 16, quarterfinals, semifinals, and then the final. Here's what makes it different from American sports. There are no 7-game series, no best of 3. 1 match, 90 minutes, that's it. And if it's tied after 90 minutes, extra time, 2 15-minute periods. Still tied? Penalty shootout. The penalty shootout is basically football's version of Russian roulette. 5 players from each team take turns shooting at the goalkeeper from 12 yards away. No defenders. Just the kicker and the keeper, 1-on-1. It's one of the most nerve-shredding moments in all of sports because in that instant, everything stops. The crowd goes silent, and it all comes down to a single strike. Entire countries have been defined by penalty shootouts. England lost 4 World Cup shootouts between 1990 and 2006. It became more than losses. It became a national wound, a psychological curse, Now, let's talk about the game itself because a few things always confuse newcomers. First, the offside rule. This is football's most misunderstood rule. Even fans argue about it. Here's the simple version. When your teammate passes the ball forward, you can't be ahead of the second-to-last defender at the moment the ball is kicked. The rule exists to stop players from just waiting near the goal for easy chances. It keeps the game compact, tactical, and fair. You'll see the assistant referee running along the sideline with a flag. When it goes up, play stops. Someone was offside. In the 2022 World Cup, VAR checked these decisions in real time with extreme precision. Players were ruled offside by a toe or a shoulder. Second, how can a 0-0 game still be exciting? Because in football, goals are rare. Unlike other sports where scoring happens constantly, football builds tension slowly. A team might create 20 chances and score once. And that's the point. When a goal finally comes, it's not just a point, it's an explosion. Players sprint, fans scream, people cry, entire stadiums erupt. Scarcity creates emotion. A 2-1 match in football isn't low scoring. It's a thriller. Now the teams. Brazil has won the World Cup 5 times, more than any nation. Germany, Italy, and Argentina have 4 each. France has 3. But what makes the World Cup special is unpredictability. In 2022, Saudi Arabia beat Argentina, a team led by Lionel Messi, one of the greatest players ever. Saudi Arabia hadn't won in decades. They won 2-1. The entire country celebrated with a national holiday. That's the World Cup. And if you're new to football, follow Lionel Messi. For most of his career, he had everything except a World Cup. Then, in 2022, at age 35, in his final chance, he led Argentina to the final against France. The match went to extra time, then penalties. Messi scored. Argentina won. It became one of the greatest sporting moments ever, not just for the result, but for the story. That's what makes the World Cup different. It creates moments that feel bigger than sport. So here's what you now know. The World Cup happens every 4 years. 32 teams compete, starting with a group stage, then knockout rounds until one winner remains. Goals are rare and powerful. Offside keeps the game fair. Penalty shootouts bring unmatched pressure. And underneath it all, it's simple. Every country sends its best players. No transfers. Just pride, preparation, and 90 minutes to make history. One final thought. You don't truly understand football until you experience it with someone who loves it. Sit with fans. Feel the tension before a penalty. Hear the silence before a decisive kick. That's when it clicks. That's when you stop asking why the world cares so much. Because by then, you already know. If this helped you understand the World Cup, subscribe. More Football Explained, coming soon.